This is Polka Dot Lady. I'm going to tell you a dream I had that after thinking about it, I knew I was in heaven at the time of the dream. But I'm going to read it because I'm kind of a better writer than I am a talker. And then I'm going to try and insert some pictures that kind of support, some of the things that were going on. So I'm going to let you look at my yard while read this in between the pictures, okay? So I had this dream in May 2021, and I was standing in a kitchen preparing dinner, which was fajitas. Now you have to understand, we make everything from scratch at our house, and I mean everything down to the tortillas. I mean everything. So I was making fajitas, which wouldn't really be that unusual. And now we've lived in many cities, like 11 cities in 28 years. And we're idiots, and we keep buying houses because we keep thinking this is the last one, we're really gonna stay here. So I often have dreams before we move about whatever the next house is or whatever the next city is. So when I had this dream, in my dream, I initially thought, oh geez, we're moving again. Anyway, so I'm in this kitchen, and then I started looking around the kitchen, and I was like, wow, this is a really nice house. And I was really interested in the amazing finishes. It had these stone counters and this amazing beam that ran across the entire kitchen and like kind of living area. And the kitchen was like ginormous, and I mean like 40 to 50 feet. It was huge. And I just could not take my eyes off of this beam. It seemed like archaic somehow and hand carved, and so much attention had been given to this beam, and I was like drawn to it like a magnet, like I was studying it. Now I really love beautiful things. I do art in my free time, and I love to study natural things and recreate them in paint form. But this one, I was just studying it, and I was like, whoever made this, it was just like the art of it and the craft behind it. I was like, I had so much respect. And the wood had this antique flavor to it. I don't know how to explain that, but you know how when the older woods just have kind of a patina to them that are amazing. And it had a really distinct French undertone to it. Now let me just diverge for 1 second. I have lived in so many houses that in the beginning, when we first had our first place, I was going to decorate it however I wanted, and everything was going to be how I liked it. And like your average American, you're going to just try and shoot for your goals and how you deem life should be. But when you've moved a lot of times, you really care only about how can I flip this house, what's best for the long run, what would be easiest to, if we had to sell this real quick, what would be the most neutral color. You start divorcing yourself from anything you like, and you just kind of go for what is most practical, I guess. And we've lived in many cities, and every single city is a different subculture of what is cool, what is not cool for that little subculture to live in. So we've lived in all sorts of different styles of homes, and in that process my husband often asks, well, if you could decorate it however you want it, what would you do? And after living in so many places, it's just really hard for me to choose like a favorite. And deep in my soul, I've probably always loved French the best, but I never have had the luxury to fully go for it. And even though a couple cities ago we lived in a total French city, I just knew that if I invested in all of that, the next city would be like a waste because it wouldn't match the house or whatever. So when this beam was French, it really caught my attention, and I was like, I really like this beam. I mean, it sounds crazy, but whatever. So anyway, it was this perfect tone of brown. It had waxed white highlights, and I don't know, I was just captured by it. Anyhow, here I am making dough, and I'm gonna make some tortillas. And then it was this beautiful sunny day, and the temperature was like in the mid-70s, and it was just a really nice day. Like the lighting in the house was perfect, which as an artist, that's like always something I notice. And it was just very balanced. Well, if I looked straight across the kitchen, there was this nice stone fireplace, which you have no idea how I've always wanted a stone fireplace in my kitchen. And if you went to the left, there was a double French doors, and that went out to a huge barbecue area, and then that went to like a pool, and there was a nice green space. And then I knew I had a kitchen garden, and I knew there were animals, and I had my own chickens, and I knew that I had like other spaces in this house. Like I knew the house, even though I've never, in this dream, I wasn't shown all the rooms. I just knew the house. And it was a very large house, and it was very, very pretty. So anyway, here I am in this house and kind of paying attention to these, you know, details in my perimeter. And all of a sudden, some people started walking in my house. They just kind of walked in. Like, nobody knocked on the door, nobody rang a bell, nothing. They just walked in. And it was as if I was expecting them. And so I said, "Oh, hi," you know, how you would if someone comes into your house. And everyone was like, hi, glad to see you, whatever, some hugs, you know, whatever. And I didn't know these people at all. And so I thought that was a little different. Well, they started walking straight through the kitchen, and they just went out to the backyard as if they knew, oh, we're all going to the backyard later, so we'll just go now. And another detail I noticed as they were walking out is I was like, well, that's strange. The doors are open and there's no mosquitoes and there's no flies. I mean, these are things that irritate me to a level you have no idea. So I was like, huh, what a nice place to live. There's no mosquitoes. So I went back into the kitchen, and I continuing to make, you know, dough balls to make more tortillas. And more people start streaming in. And all of a sudden I start recognizing people. And these are people from my childhood. Now, you have to understand that we had a car accident like roughly, I don't know, 20 years ago, and I lost a lot of memory in that accident, because it was like my fifth head injury. So in this process, everything like before like the year 1998 or something, all those people, a lot of those things, I don't remember. So Facebook is like nightmare for me. I cannot do Facebook because I don't know you people. I mean, I knew them once. I know them, but I don't have all the stories in my mind anymore, and it's just gone. And so when these people started walking in, I knew they were from my childhood, and I knew them. And I was like, oh, I know you. Which for me, that's a really huge deal, because that's been erased from my memory. People, like my mother's always saying, oh, you remember I saw whoever today. And I'm like, I have no idea who you're talking about. Like, I never know. So anyhow, all these people are coming in, and I'm thinking, I remember that lady. She used to sit in the second row at church. Oh, I remember this person. We used to go to Sunday school together. And all of them were Christians. And there were a couple people from school, but I knew that all these people were, they were Christians. And then I was thinking, wait, this isn't a future house. This is heaven. Like, it started coming together in my mind in the dream. And so all these people started streaming in. And then this one person came in, and I said, hey, how are you? And this guy I knew, like, once upon a time, like, you know, pre-college. And he said, oh, I'm great. And I said, who's this? Because he had some friend with him. And the friend goes, don't you remember? And I said, what? And he said, well, you converted, you know, whoever this guy was, and he converted me. So we're connected. And I was like, oh, okay. And then all these people started coming that I have no idea who they were. Like, no clue in the world. And then a whole slew of people came in, and they were like people that I really liked. And I was like, oh, I remember you. Oh, I remember you. Like, it was just different people in life. And it occurred to me how social and how amazing and how connected we all are, even though we may not even realize it in this life, but how much we will be in the next. And how God is providing for us a network of friendships and a network of, you know, social times and whatever. Now, in my real life, I'm kind of a control freak when it comes to parties, and I love theme parties. And so obviously I'm making fajitas. That means we're having some sort of Mexican food, Mexican music, you know, everything, right? So, or Tex-Mex at least. So when I'm making these tortillas, it occurs to me instantly, there are scads of people in this house. I do not have enough meat for fajitas. Like, because I only had 2 slabs because I thought I was making, just for a small group of people. And there were like hundreds of people in my backyard. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? And I went into like normal earth mode of panic. Oh my gosh, I don't have enough food. Instantly, some people came. I don't even know who they were. And there's some people from like my church growing up or something. And this woman brought me a plate with 2 pork chops and salt and pepper. Now, control freak of a party that I am, pork chops and fajitas, nah, we're not serving that. Like, we would never mix genres of food at a party that I'm throwing. It's just not gonna happen. So I thanked her and I said, well, thank you very much. And in the dream, I was not freaked out by this. I'd be freaked out by that. Like, who brings pork chops, salt and pepper on them to a party? And then all of a sudden, more people start bringing all these different foods, and food starts streaming in the house, and I was like, oh, okay. But I still needed more meat for fajitas because I was like, I gotta marinate the meat. And so I went to the door, and my husband was at the door greeting people, and my 2 younger children were at the door. And let me just mention, this door was amazing. Another hand-carved French, amazing, beautiful piece of work. I mean, it was art. And so my husband was like, what are you doing? And I said, I need to run to the store and get some more meat. And he looked at me like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Like, he just thought it was stupid. And I said, well, look at all these people. And he said, loaves and fishes. And I was like, oh, I knew exactly what he meant. Like, God will provide. He knows how much food we need. And so I said, oh, okay. And so I went back into the kitchen, and then I remember the last thought before I woke up was, oh, I'm going to have to make a whole lot of tortillas today. I just want to encourage you guys that the stuff that we do, the lives we touch, the people we see here on this earth, I really do think it's going to matter. I think that we're touching people we don't even realize. And I think that we are touching people that touch other people we don't know. And be kind, be loving, pray for people, put your life into their life. And do as much as you can for God and for His kingdom while we're here. And I don't know. I just think it's really neat. Now, as a note, just in case you want to know some of the details of this stream, there were no locks on the doors. It seemed to be a regular thing that everyone takes turns entertaining at each other's, and everyone just kind of hangs out, and really there's a time of socializing. I knew there were other people in my home I didn't see, like family members and stuff. Let's see. I really believe that this is a little insight into heaven, and so, or maybe, the new heaven, new earth kind of thing. There was so much joy between all the people, so much peace, no negative feelings. Sometimes someone comes in your house and you're like, all right, I'll deal with it. But no, none of that. There was just only peace, happy, joy, bright. Everything was good and honest and just. And in this kind of corrupt season that we're in our world, it was very refreshing, a little dream to have, to just be reminded that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be good and right and nice again for us that are believers. Another thing that I thought was interesting is I knew that, me and my girls, we all have horrible fruit allergies. And I remember thinking, what a joy to be able to have all the foods I wanted, and that some of the things that people brought on plates, like watermelon, which you can't eat anymore, which is one of my favorite foods. I remember thinking, oh, I can't wait to eat that watermelon. And so I just want to give you guys hope that, all the struggles we're going through here, they're temporary. This is a temporary tent. This is a temporary life. And we're here to help other people find Christ. So let's keep focused and let's be encouraged. I think that we all have a role to play, and I'm just so thankful that God has given us this opportunity to share with each other on YouTube and give us all pieces of the puzzle so that we can kind of be encouraged in these last times when things are not as easy. Love y'all. See you in the sky. John 14, 1-4. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions, and if it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again, and I will receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And where I go, you know, and the way you know.